Greetings YouTube and welcome to another episode of the Weekend Salaryman. My name is Stuart and I'm on a mission to document my journey as a photographer and videographer using the Fuji ecosystem, sharing the gear and settings that I use as a hybrid shooter, all while showing you how I spend my downtime here in South Korea. If you are new to the Fuji ecosystem, then be sure to hit like and subscribe as I share my creative process with you while showing you the best that South Korea has to offer. Film simulations are without a doubt one of the main reasons I switched over to the Fuji ecosystem, and I feel like having the ability to get such a variety of looks in camera without having to apply any editing at all is what makes the Fuji ecosystem, the Fuji system itself, so unique. And I feel like that's what makes shooting with Fujifilm such a fulfilling experience. Now my current Fujifilm camera that I'm using at the moment, the XS10, that makes provision for 4 custom slots where I can store, different presets kind of settings and store different film simulation recipes. And obviously this varies by Fuji models. Some models have the ability to store more custom settings, but I do feel like having 4 slots is just the right amount, because that way you don't get really indecisive. You don't get too indecisive about which film sim you want to use at any given time. Granted, there are times when I wish that this XS10 had more slots, but I feel like having 4 is just about right for my uses. I also usually shoot in RAW plus JPEG, so if the film simulated JPEG isn't really to my taste, then I can always fall back on the RAW image to make the edits that I desire. So in my 4 slots I've stored 4 different film simulation recipes, and in this video, in the next 4 minutes, under 4 minutes hopefully, I'm going to show you the 4 recipes that I use, the settings, lots of sample photos, as well as provide the recipe links. In my first slot is a recipe that I call Summer Provia. Now Summer Provia is the go-to for my daytime shooting, and it's based on the Provia film sim, which renders really pleasing blues and purples, which is just perfect for sunny days, I feel. And for this recipe I retain detail in the highlights by cranking the dynamic range up to DR400, and what I find is that shooting just under a full stop overexposed gives it a very nice bright airy feel, which I feel is a look that's very popular on social media and across the photography community in general nowadays. It works beautifully for bright daytime shots, really bringing out bright blues, pinks and purples. In my second slot is Kodak Gold 200. Now full disclosure, this recipe is straight from the Fuji X Weekly app, which is a database of Fujifilm recipes, and it's got a slightly warmer feel which makes it perfect for sunset conditions and golden hour. The base for this film sim is Classic Neg, and it produces a very warm and vibrant tone, yet not overly saturated. As mentioned, it is particularly stunning during golden hour, capturing that signature Kodak Gold 200 kind of warmth. However, I will say that it doesn't work all that great in other situations due to the color balance. In my third slot is Pastel Vibes. Now, if you're on the Fujifilm Facebook groups, then perhaps you've seen this recipe, and it's from a guy called Willow Rotter. If you look at this recipe, it's got really nice, deep blue, cool tones, and it runs a bit cooler than my Summer Provia recipe, which makes it probably my second most used film sim to date. Even though it works really well during daylight, I do find it to be a bit undersaturated. I do like my images to have a little pop, but during daytime I find that it works really well if you shoot it slightly underexposed. It really produces atmospheric results, especially when paired with a mist filter. If you're new to the Fujifilm ecosystem and you're looking for your first recipe, this is definitely one that I'd recommend. In my fourth and final slot is a recipe that I call Daily Greens. Now, this is actually based on a custom recipe, again, from the Fujifilm Facebook groups by a guy called Timo Kurten, I think his name is. And I was on holiday when I was trying this sim out. I was just looking for something that really worked as a landscape film recipe. And this recipe makes your greens pop. It uses Astia as the base, so it definitely is a bit more saturated than your Classic Neg or your Classic Chrome, and definitely more saturated than Provia as well. But it's a subtle type of saturation, I think. The blues are relatively well controlled, and it works really well for landscape shots where you've got a lot of greenery. You want your greens to pop, and it can also lift very dull scenes without looking too comical or oversaturated. I feel like this recipe, as an all-round recipe, strikes just the right balance And for that reason, I'd really recommend this if you're looking for, like I say, a landscape or even a travel film recipe to use on your Fujifilm camera. And that's it. I hope these were under 4 minutes, the 4 recipes that I use. I've come to swear by them. Obviously, I do change them out every now and then, but these I hope give you a base to explore. And of course, there's so much that you can do in terms of your film simulations and your film recipes with your Fujifilm camera. If you enjoyed this video, if you got any value from it, then please do remember to hit like and subscribe. And if you're looking to find out about one of the best all-round lenses for the Fujifilm X-mount ecosystem, then check out my vlog and mini review of the Sigma 18 to 15mm f2.8 lens for Fuji X.